Benji from Art and Soul. Let's talk about progress. So we all want to get better, right? We want to get better as a parent, as a human being, as a teacher, as a lawyer, as a musician, as a doctor, whatever it is that we're passionate about or we're working on in our lives, we'd like to make progress. We'd like to get better. So how do we do that? Progress is about practice and patience. So we've talked about practice in earlier episodes, especially with like music student, for example, so you can go back and apply some of those things. One thing I do want to say about practice, I had a professor in college and a student was practicing a lot and just complaining to the professor, I still can't get this, or when I get it and I would bring it to you, you would tell me it's wrong, so I'm having some trouble. But I'm practicing and practicing and practicing, I don't know what's going on. And the teacher said something, the music professor in college, that I thought was really interesting. He said, practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent, right? Perfect practice makes perfect. So we've all heard the phrase, practice makes perfect. But if you're practicing something wrong, you're just gonna remember it and learn it wrong. It's still gonna be wrong, right? So perfect practice makes perfect. So one thing to remember, that's why when you're learning something, it's important that you are studying with somebody or taking lessons or a mentor or somebody who can kind of check in with you along the way to make sure that the practice you're doing is the right practice. That's why we have lessons weekly or classes weekly or check-ins with people, whether it's a music lesson, a financial advisor, whoever it is, you're constantly checking in with people to making sure that you're on the right path and you're going in the right direction, right? So progress is important in that sense. The other is patience. I equivalent practicing to get better at something, no matter in what industry and what field, to building a house. And many of us in Sonoma County and all over California, unfortunately, can relate to building or rebuilding a house. It takes time. And there are some days when you're rebuilding where it looks like there's a lot of progress being made. One day there is dirt on your lot. 2 days later, there's a foundation. A day later, there's walls. 2 days later, there's a roof. So you're seeing progress, huge progress being made, which is fantastic. But then after that, there's 2 or 3 weeks where it seems like there's nothing being done, right? Because that's when they're doing the stuff you really can't see. They're putting the electrical on the walls. They're running plumbing underneath. They're putting insulation in small pockets, right? Stuff where you really can't see it. It's not as big a progress as you'd like to see, but it's still progress happening. So take a moment to realize that that's kind of the natural evolution of anything that we're learning. There's gonna be weeks where you or yourself or your child are gonna make huge progress or leaps in their dance ability, their art ability, their music ability, and there's gonna be times when you don't see as much progress, but there's still progress going on and there's still learning going on. It's just not as visible, all right? So just remember that. Perfect practice makes perfect, and patience with progress, lots of P's there, so that you can learn along the way, and the goal is just to get a little bit better every week. Another real key thing that a professor once said to me is, try and go to bed at night a little bit better than you were when you woke up in the morning. Whether that is a human being, a doctor, a lawyer, an artist, a musician, if you work on your craft a little bit during the day, you will go to sleep better than when you woke up, and that's the goal. So take care, have a great time.